Now for this exercise, we're going to take an existing raster image, bring it into Illustrator, put it on a layer. Maybe we can turn down its opacity a bit, and then we'll create a new layer so that we can draw with our pen tool on top of it. So to start with, I'm just going to go up to File, Place, and I've got some images tucked away here. We'll just choose this one to start with. It's called bellcn.jpg, and you'll have these to download for yourself. And then you can simply click and release, and it comes in at actual size. And then of course I can move that raster image around, so I'll just center it here, I guess. And we have basically three various logos on this page. Now I'm going to go to my layers panel, and if you can't find it, just go under Window, Layers, and it'll pop up. And I'm just going to lock that so that it won't move. And if I want to turn the opacity down, I can do it up here. Actually, I need to unlock it for that. Highlight it, turn down its opacity, and I'll just lock up the layer. Alright, we'll just close this up. And I'll create a brand new layer. So to create a new layer in my Layers panel, I just go down to this little icon here called Create New Layer, and it creates it. I'll actually double click on the name and rename it. I'll call it My Logo. Now I'm set to create these logos. So your first exercise will be to recreate all of these logos here using only your pen tool. Now I will zoom up because it's a little easier to see it when it's zoomed up. And I'll just do this CN logo quick. So I'll start at the bottom here. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at my colors here and I see I have no fill, no stroke. I'm going to click on the stroke and I'll just make it black. And I'll actually leave the fill empty. It'll make it a little easier while I'm drawing. So I'll start here. Now to make a perfectly horizontal or vertical line, I can hold my Shift key down to constrain it. And I'll just bring it to where the curve sort of starts. Hold my Shift key down, click it, and I'll click on the anchor to start a new curve. And generally speaking, you want to go in the same direction as the curve, about a third of the distance of the line. And from experience, you'll figure out how far to pull that handle out and so on. Here's where the curve basically ends. So I'll click and drag. And you can still hold your Shift key down to constrain that as well. And let's say I wanted to immediately modify this. I could hold my Command key down, and it changes to my Direct Select tool. And I can go and manipulate some of these elements. Drag that over just a touch. And again, if I wanted to zoom, Command plus spacebar to drag. And I can see here now, I'll go back to my Command key, and with my arrow I can make those fine-tuning adjustments. Now to come out of that with a straight line, I can simply click on the anchor point and click for my next line, click and drag on that anchor point to initiate another curve, and I can see with my preview roughly where it's going to go. And again, with my Command key down, I will adjust that curve, and so on and so forth. So I'll just click on that anchor point, hold my Shift key down, click and drag that anchor point out from the that handle rather out from the anchor point. Click and drag. And that's how you'll initiate these exercises. I'm just going to zoom back out here. And I'd like you to draw all of these. Now to get out of the pen tool, by the way, you can hit your Escape key and it releases you from the pen tool. Remember to lock that first layer. If you want to turn down the opacity, you'll have to unlock it, highlight it. Oops, let me undo that. Go to my selection tool and highlight it, and then just affect the opacity up here. And then once that's done, I would suggest just locking the layer, going to your drawn layer, and creating the vector illustration based on that raster image. And that is your exercise.